Great outpourings do not just change people, but indeed they change even the society and environment. Drunkenness was immediately cut in half, and many taverns went bankrupt. Crime was so diminished that judges were presented with white gloves, signifying there were no cases of murder, assault, rape, or robbery to consider. Police became unemployed in many districts. It was even said that work in the coal mines grounded to a halt, not due to strikes between laborers and employers, but because so many foul-mouthed miners became converted and stopped using their habitual foul language that the horses which hauled the coal trucks in the mines now could no longer understand what was being said to them, and transportation thus grounded to a halt. Evan Roberts became the most publicized preacher in the world. His slogan, "Remove human resistance to God's will and change the world." By 1905, several of the Armenian families, heeding the prophecy of the late 1800s, had indeed fled Armenia and migrated to Los Angeles, California. The Armenians established a Pentecostal church at 919 Boston Street in the large home of Damus Shakarian, who was father of Isaac, grandfather of Damus, now president of the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship International. The city of Los Angeles in 1905 had a population of less than 300,000. Less than 6,000 were black, compared to today's LA County population of 8,800,000 with over 900,000 blacks. Throughout Los Angeles, there was an undergirding of prayer, a crying out for more of God.
The religious setting in America at that time also was really a time of great religious ferment. You can't say people were apathetic. The holiness movement had just recently separated from the Methodist Church. There were hundreds of small holiness groups all over the country, in which Asuza Street started as part of the holiness movement. And a lot of people in the mainline Protestant churches at that time were interested in the baptism of the Holy Spirit. Schofield said more books have been written about the Holy Spirit in the 1890s than in all previous history.
The place was fertile also for what has later become known as new religious movements. The Christian Science was moving into Southern California through a highly touted suit that Mary Baker Eddy's son was suing her over certain things. What became known as the Jehovah's Witnesses at that time was known as Millennial Dawn. That was being brought to Southern California at that time. The Mormons were making major inroads. So it was an area where these more sectarian and cultic type groups were meeting.